This is B to Will Wilson back with another video. Don't really have a real title, but I'm just gonna say let's get to it. I've been out for a while. Most of those that know me know I've been relocated to a different state, different city. I'm gonna try to go back and discuss some things that I was going to discuss back in July, but I was in the process of moving, so I wasn't able to deal with these subjects. But one would be the abortion decision made by the Supreme Court, and the other one would be immigration. Um, I'm going to strive to have a conversation about these topics because I haven't forgotten them, and it is good to have something on record. And I do thank God for YouTube that I'm able to put something on record concerning my belief system. It's very important for my grandchildren and those that know me to have something on record, because when the question is asked, what did you do or what did you say? Well, if God allows this information to stay on the internet, then those that know me or would want to know me would know what I stood for. And so I want to first start by saying for those who felt it was good that the Supreme Court, well, they actually what they did, they made the abortion decision. They moved it back to the states, and they ruled that it was unconstitutional concerning the abortion issue. And I would say to a certain degree it is, because most of the laws that were put in place, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, was based upon slavery and the descendants of slaves. But what I will say is, and if I'm offending those who it's affect, count to my head, not to my heart. You have to allow people to go to hell if they want to go to hell. I'm not an advocate for abortion. I did have some young women who got abortions without my consent, so I'm not one to, really accept abortion. But I do think people need to have the right to choose to go to hell if they want to go to hell. And if you do abortions and you don't repent, you should know where you're going. The negative of it all is that people who argue about not taking a shot, they sounded similar to those who were arguing arguing for abortion. You hear a lot of my body, my choice, not only from the abortion people, but those who did not want to take a shot. In my case, not even wear a mask, let alone to take a shot. So if you take away people's freedoms, remember yours will be taken away too. And everything in this world is playing to somebody's agenda. Where it looked like you have won, you may have lost. So right now they're not really discussing this 2020 event, but we know we're heading towards the mark of the beast, and what has transpired is going to get you there. And so for the Supreme Court to take away the rights of women, or allow states to take the right of women to not have abortions away from them, then you just have to know that there will come a time when they're going to take your rights away. Choose a mark. You're going to have to take a mark, or else. And that's where we're going. So I'm not happy as much as one would probably think I should be, being that I'm a man of God. It's the fact that people need to make choices, and you should give people the right to choose. Unfortunately, people make bad choices, and that's just the way it is. You have to allow them to go to hell. You can't make people go to heaven. You can't make people live right. You can't make people do right. But people should have the right to choose, because the word do say choose. He say, I put before you a blessing, a curse, life, or death. Now he tell you to choose life. The Lord said, choose life, that thou and thy seed shall live. But you can choose to not have life too. So I'm not, as happy as, because I know now it's leading up to other choices being taken away. The choice of not wearing a mark. Of course, the choice of the mask and shot is currently off the table, but the mark will be on the table. And if you don't take it, then you're going to have a consequence. So, but that's this decision, this Supreme Court decision, in my opinion, is a shot across the bows to those of us who like choices, or to be allowed to make choices. The second issue of immigration is to warn everybody to be careful of this deception. I'm going to call it a deception because, like I said, we're playing into someone's agenda. And I want to use Haiti, for example. When them people from Haiti came over here, and they met them at the border of Texas, and they didn't allow them on buses. They wasn't shipping them to Democratic states. They shipped most of them back, and from what I heard, they gave them $100. But all of a sudden now we can bus them to Democratic states, and you have to remember what President Biden said about that issue when he was talking to the freedmen of black leadership, how this country be taken over by Latinos, and he says Latinos, and that we will have to work with them because that is part of the agenda. And so the governor of Texas, and I believe he's in on it because he's not shipping them out, he's shipping them to Democratic states. So it looks like he's getting back at the Democrats, but I believe he's playing a part in integrating immigrants into these Democratic states. It may help us, hurt us, if we're not careful. And I believe it's going to hurt us because they're going to give them rights to vote, give them money, and we'll be what is called the fourth-class citizen. And that's not right, but that's where we are, and that's where we're going. And I do believe the governor of Texas is doing it openly under the guise of, I'm getting back at Democratic states and politicians. And everybody plays into their part in their agenda. And the Lord do say, let no man deceive you concerning the devices of the devil. And so sometimes they do things before your very eyes, and you think, oh yeah, soccer too. California and New York and DC and these other states where the Democrats are running, who are for immigration, but these Republican governors, whether it be Florida or Texas, they are playing their part by shipping them to these states, and it makes them. It's really amazing how the deception is there. I do believe it's just all part of the plan. And sometimes I believe somebody sit down and say, well, how can we do it? Well, it look like we're not on board, but yet we're on board. And this is one way they're doing it. They're pretending, from my perspective, that we're not going to let these people just be in my state. We're going to ship them to your state. Now, like I said, the Haitians, when they came, they were kicked out. They wasn't shipped in buses to anybody's state, and it wasn't put in hotel rooms, and there's not laws being made where they can vote. So, we have to be very careful of deception. We live in a very deceitful world, and the world the people that run this world have an agenda, and it's just really amazing how they get you to play into it, whether it be the abortion issue for now, and the immigration issue. The 2020 event was from my perspective, a great deception. And people got paid and nobody went to jail. And if I can say, it was possible murder of a lot of citizens. And God's going to deal with these elites for doing that. The only problem with some of that is that you have to make that decision too. If you let somebody convince you to do something that is not good for you, then you do bear some responsibility. That's why the Lord said, watch and pray. And this is why the man of God says, save yourself. You must study. And I'm not going to just say study the word, study history, because there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's doing the same thing they were doing in the old days. It's modernized. We still have slavery, and I'm not just talking about prison slavery. We have, the leadership of Europeans running the country and the world, and everybody else are just servants. And if you want to be in the room with them, you got to play that game. And I don't hate them for it, because I do believe it's a time of JFAT. My own issue is that we confess to be a Christian state, and when the freedmen, ADOS, B1, FBA family asked for reparations, which you can deal with Exodus and how the children of Israel left Egypt with all the payment of gold for the 430 years they were in bondage. But somehow in the United States and in the West, who profess to be Christian countries, they seem to have a hard time understanding you must make people whole that you're enslaved for over 100 years. In this case, we've been here for 400-something years. We're being told to get over everything. It's really amazing why other groups get paid, and that makes it unfair. But like I said, we're moving towards the mark of the beast. And so, if the United States don't, repent of that. It's a sin you have to repent of. You have to repent of bondage and slavery. You have to repent of making laws that make a people slave. You have to repent of the lynchings. You have to not even call them suicides if they're lynchings. You need to call them lynchings. A lot this country's not doing. But I will say that I'm praying for various parts of the country. All hands on deck. If you're not a person that's praying, you should be. Your country needs prayer. This country needs prayer. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I'll get back on track. I'll try to do more videos. Hopefully my lighting's coming in pretty good. And like I say, I'm going to strive to get back on track. For those who are praying people, be praying for me and my wife. The Lord is blessing us here. Yet we have a ways to go in certain things. But be praying for us, and some of you I'm praying for. And like I said, thank you for watching this video, and let's get to it. I'll probably make another video sometime soon. Probably try to make 2 a month, but do bear with me. And with that being said, thanks for watching this video. Okay then, bye-bye.